What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbine, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punturi. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we know who they're going to draft at quarterback. At least I think I know who they're going to draft at quarterback. We're going to dive into the latest news out of Pittsburgh and why there's a lot of conversation about it. Meanwhile, over in Washington, there's a player who pro day decisions, I think, raise some questions. They certainly raise questions for me. I'm curious to see if you feel the same. And it's Tuesday, and we're back. Overreaction Tuesday, coming at you live. It's a snowy one here in Pittsburgh. I hate that I'm saying that, but I'm saying it. How you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling deceived by the lovely clock in this room, which says it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's a lie.
It's jarringly hurtful.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of that. I was at the Place for Smiles earlier today, Eaton Park, and
beautiful.
How quickly the smiles are fading, apparently, based off of today's subject matter. But but no, do a good, man. Just this, I'm liable for treason and misdemeanor if this snow keeps up, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so done with this.
For sure. I cursed out a lot of people last night, mostly just Mother Nature. My cats were stunned. They were like, why is Dad so miserable? Because they don't have to go outside. They have no idea the torture these animals. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk some Pittsburgh Steelers football. Get over the weather. I got a great topic to kick this one off. Quarterback. Today, the Pittsburgh Steelers hosted Miami quarterback Carson Beck for a top 30 visit. This comes after they met at the NFL Combine. Beck, who is, I believe, the oldest quarterback in the NFL draft, spent his final season at Miami, his years before that at Georgia. 2 years ago, going into the season, Carson Beck is a first-round talent, a guy that everybody is anticipating going pretty high, who before his final year at Georgia, there were mock drafts predicting the Steelers land Carson Beck. Well, he's back, and he's maybe more polished. Who knows? 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions last season. Are the Steelers going to draft Carson Beck, my friend? Are we getting to that point?
Guess who's back? Maybe. It seems if we are to believe the most recent sort of conversations, it seems like the direction of the Pittsburgh Steelers in round one is any direction but quarterback, right? So that would presumably roll out Ty Simpson. Then the question becomes, are they going to add another player to this quarterback room before training camp starts? You look at a guy like Carson Beck. My question here is, I'm hearing like third round grade, day 2 grade. It's a thin class, so I think that is going to certainly skew where players go and maybe where they would in other years. But
Agreed.
If you can get him for the right price, it's the same sort of conversation we've had with guys like Ty Simpson, Drew Aller, Taylor Green, go down the list. If you get them in the right round for the right value, it's worth taking a shot. Now, if you're going to use an extra pick, they have 5 in the first 100 picks.
They do.
Are they going to, do they feel like they had the luxury at their hands of being able to, take a player who maybe you're reaching on in round 3 by taking Carson Beck? What I know is the Steelers are looking for a specific type of quarterback if they're going to add one. It's a player who has the size. Carson Beck does have that. He's 6'4", 220. Sure. He has a trait that is pretty good in that he is accurate when he's on his game. Career 69% accuracy. Mike McCarthy wants to mold a guy. I can see how these pieces are sort of being put together. If you tell me he's a day 3 pick, I'm like, all right, you took a swing. If you use one of those round 2 or round 3 picks on him, I'm very curious what your plans are.
I agree. I truthfully look at it like the Steelers. This year, the Steelers have the opportunity to take a risk earlier than what they usually would. In years past, last season's a great example. You draft a quarterback higher than the 6th round, and you're putting stock into that quarterback. That's Will Howard comes in here. He has no stock. Now they're putting stock into him, but they didn't have that. They could have chose not to. They could have looked at Will and said, he's not our future. you know, he's just here. He's a piece that if it works out, awesome, but chances are it's not going to work out. They're putting stock into him. This year, I think you could do the same thing earlier. Now you can't go second round. You know, you go second round at a quarterback. That's a guy that it's your future quarterback. If you go into, I think, the last pick of the third round, that's where I kind of feel like at that point, you could make an investment piece. You could take a risk without hurting any other position and have the same stock. I know it's third round compared to sixth as a Will Howard, to say this is a piece that we have the opportunity to take a shot on. It's not going to cost us. And if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, it's our fifth pick in the draft. You know, like it's not supposed to really work out. It's just a flyer on a guy. And I think Carson Beck's that guy. Like, to me, I like Carson Beck, and I know people don't like Carson Beck, and I 100% get. I do. I get it.
Who said?
No, I don't know. I've never heard that. I've never heard that anybody doesn't like Carson Beck, but I know that people don't like Carson Beck. My thing about Carson Beck is if you are Mike McCarthy and you are preaching to the choir that you can mold a quarterback, you sat there in front of Art Rooney for 7 hours, and spoke about how great you are with quarter. Go ask Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Brooks and Joe Montana. I'm Dak Prescott. I've been there. I've done that. Carson Beck is, I think, behind Drew Aller, the most like moldable quarterback in this draft. A guy that comes in and you just look at him and say, you're not great, but you have a strong arm. You have decent footwork. You have the, you know, NFL IQ that everybody's looking for, and you have the top end talent. Like, you have the potential to be a good quarterback because you were viewed as a good quarterback, not coming into college. You obviously were, but by the end of your college career, you had moments of first round potential. You know what I mean? And I think if the Steelers were going to take a flyer, I like Carson Beck in that way. Like, I like Taylor Green. He's my most exciting quarterback in this draft.
Sure.
But like, to me, Ty Simpson is boring. I think his ceiling is higher, or his floor is higher than his ceiling. Drew Aller, I think, has a ridiculous ceiling, but I don't know if he's ever going to get there. To me, Carson Beck has the second highest ceiling of the like mid-round guys. And I don't know what his floor is, but I don't really care, quite honestly, because again, I don't think they're putting stock into it. I think they're looking at it like it's their fourth or their fifth pick in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you tell me he's picked 99, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, whatever. Like, I'm not, my evaluation of Carson Beck is no higher in terms of ceiling than a player like Will Howard, which is like, I would see him as at absolute best, maybe being somebody who could be a number 2 in the right situation.
Yeah.
That's a big if though, still in my mind. That I love the size, and I love whenever he is on his game. There's just a lot about his like passing. He seems like a wishy-washy kind of passer where you're not sure if you're going to get that player who sets his feet in the ground and makes that pass, or if you're going to get a guy who is just kind of reckless out there.
Who's throwing inners. You don't know if you're going to get the guy that throws an absolute beautiful touchdown in the national championship, or the guy that throws maybe the worst pick ever to end the national championship. I hear you.
And listen, Steelers fans, you know, they know about interceptions in meaningful games, you know, the good and the bad side of it. So like, listen, it's a part of the game. I get it. But there's a lot about Carson Beck that I am not willing to overlook just because there is maybe a high ceiling like there is with other players like Drew Aller in this class. My overall sentiment is you could probably just afford to pass on this player.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think you can make that about everybody. Maybe Drew Aller. I think Drew Aller is the only guy in this draft, quarterback wise, that like if you drafted him, as long as you draft him after the second round, you know, but after the second round, any quarterback you take is a project. It is, you are taking a shot on a guy that shouldn't work out, but maybe he does. Drew Aller to me is like what does the kid not have? The ability to win. But besides that, he's got everything else you're looking for. You know what I mean? And he's young. To me, that's like, but I hear you. Like Carson, he's older.
He'll turn 24 during the season.
Carson? Oh, that's not as old as I thought he would be. I thought he was 25. I thought
he's 23. He's 23. He'll turn 24.
That's still not terrible, though.
Yeah,
that's still not terrible.
It's no Case Keenum situation, that's for sure. Yeah.
True. Not even who's the guy for the Browns? Brian Was it Brian?
Brandon Whedon.
Brandon Whedon, dude. 45-year-old Brandon Whedon. That worked out great.
Van Wilder.
Yeah, that worked out great. But to me, Drew Aller would be like the guy that, you know, like if you're going to take a shot on anybody and you luck into him as your 5th pick in the draft in 99, like, why not, dude? You know,
I get that more than Carson Beck for sure.
For sure. But it does seem like the Steelers are interested in Carson Beck. Where's Carson Beck currently on your Steelers are going to draft him radar?
I think there's some smoke and there might be a fire here when it comes to Carson Beck, because we heard some rumblings, you know, in Indianapolis. They obviously met with him formally, one of 4 quarterbacks for them to meet with. That's, you know, there's a little bit of kindling on that fire. Now it's not just, you know, it was Todd McShay on a recent episode of his the McShay Show, I think is his specific podcast. And, you know, he said that it's, you know, if you're thinking Ty Simpson, you're way off. It's Carson Beck is the guy the Steelers are interested in.
Yes.
You know, take what you will from Todd McShay and those national guys, whatever. But like, I certainly trust his insight, you know, and I look at that a little bit more. Someone's throwing a little starter log on there. Dude, so I think there's some connections here.
There is. I said it at the combine. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know, man. They met with 4 quarterbacks. Mike McCarthy seems to want to talk a lot about Carson Beck, dude. A lot about Carson Beck. And what gets me about it is that when the first time, I shouldn't tell the story. I'm going to do it anyways. The first time I heard Mike talk about Carson Beck, he couldn't remember who he was. He couldn't remember the name, but he remembered where he went to school. And to me, I was like, that guy, he left an impression. You know, he didn't leave a strong enough impression to remember your name, but he remembered the Miami quarterback and this moment with that Miami quarterback. I don't know, man. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Is Ty Simpson completely off your radar the more that the Steelers quarterback thing kind of shakes out?
No, he's not. But I mean, I'll take any excuse to push him further down.
Yeah.
You know, if this, Carson Beck, his stock's up, that means Ty Simpson's stock's down. But no, realistically, I think there is still some chance that Ty Simpson is a guy the Steelers really covet. I just think they are increasingly aware that they don't need to waste a 1st-round pick to get him. And that is unfortunately the likely cost of acquiring Ty Simpson.
Yes. I very much so agree. All right, let's talk. What's next on our list here? Oh, Denzel Boston. Denzel Bob. I've been forgetting about him all day. You want to know why? Because the guy's not running 40-yard dashes.
Bingo.
Didn't run it at the NFL Combine. Is not running it at Washington's Pro Day. This is a guy, massive size, 6'4", 212, something like that. Fantastic wide receiver. I think it's like over 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns his last 2 years at college. I'm going to be really honest with you, man. I have a hard time drafting this guy into a group of DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr., not knowing if he's going to turn out to be Keon Coleman.
Well, I mean, listen, I think the fear is
it's all it is,
beyond valid and is totally acceptable here in the situation, because there is a virus, you know, there's this curse where there are so many talented wide receivers, and it's just translating it to the NFL can be such a difficult thing. My evaluation on Denzel Boston is pretty high. Like, I like this player a lot. I think he can be a very valuable wide receiver. There is a reason why I think he does not want to run a 40-yard dash, and it's because he probably can't get the time that he thinks would make him look better and keep him in that 1st-round draft stock. That being said, I've never been a guy, and I think I've said something right along these lines when it came to, you know, talking about the combine and drills and evaluations. Like, one drill alone means nothing to me.
I agree.
Like, I watch, you know, I've come to this conclusion about Denzel Boston because in the game, he appears to be a player who can do all of those things at a good to great to elite level. And that includes speed. Does that mean he has 40-yard, like 4.5 40-yard dash time, 4.4 40-yard dash time? My guess is he does not. But does that mean he is slow with the ball in his hands? I would argue it does not mean that either. So it's worrisome that he does not do it, but I don't feel it actually will affect anything about his NFL productivity.
It's hard to argue with that. It is. My concerns come from drafting a third big body into a group of big bodies without knowing if this big body is worse than the two big bodies that you have at like the speed side of things. You know what I mean? DK Metcalf's a fast wide receiver. I think that plays a role into this, but you have a Michael Pittman Jr. Are you drafting another Michael Pittman Jr.? And can a team win if they have 3 Michael Pittman Juniors? You know what I mean? Like,
good question.
Does that team end up in the Super Bowl? I don't necessarily know. You know, I don't know if that's the case. And does it change their approach? To me, it's where he's drafted. At 21 in the wide receiver class that you have, to have any question mark is enough for me to look at it and go, that's too much. It's too many question marks, you know, just to have the one. And I think he's got fantastic, you know, like on-field play. And I think his game speed is decent. I don't think it's great, but I think it's decent. But you know, in a class where, I mean, you could go into the second round and get great quality, and even the third, like, to sit there at 21 and be like, maybe this guy is super freaking slow and we just don't know it. Like, maybe Washington's offense set him up in good ways, you know, to make him look faster, which again is a stretch, but teams will be just as skeptical. To me, that's enough to add worry, add concern.
Yeah, I think the question that pops up here is like, who the wide receiver that the Pittsburgh Steelers draft and target, regardless of round. The question that I'm curious to find the answer to is, do they want this player to be the speed guy? Do they want this to be a pure slot wide receiver? Do they want someone like Michael Pittman Jr. to play a more versatile rover type of like slot and outside type of route tree?
Yeah.
He indicated he's going to, you know, quote unquote, expand the route tree in Pittsburgh. So like that tells me they have, you know, a large vision for him, a wide, expansive vision for him. Where does that leave wide receiver 3? If it is a speed guy, Denzel Boston suddenly becomes less viable as an option, right? Because then there's so many guys that have incredible speed in this draft class. We talked about a guy like Casey Concepcion, who's just like number one elite trait is his speed. So there are ways that they can address that, but I don't know the answer to that question. Do they want this next wide receiver that they bring in to be just a speedy guy who can get separation off the line of scrimmage immediately in those intermediate routes, or do they want that outside boundary threat?
I agree. And I think and I don't think the outside boundary threat is like the best move for them, you know, in certain ways. Like, I think like Carnell Tate versus Casey Concepcion is a different situation. Because like Carnell could play everything, you know what I mean? Casey is like, he's a deep threat, you know, he's just run really fast, you know,
he's super speedy,
and you're gonna beat him. And I think that a Carnell is different, you know. That's what, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, that's what they should be looking at. A guy that could do a little bit of everything, that could be on the inside, that could be on the outside, you know. And I just think that you could find that, like, I keep going back to an Omar Cooper, but like, I think you could find a Cooper. I think you could find Elijah Surratt, who, I mean, does it less than Cooper, but like, you know, who's there. KC to me is kind of a one-trick pony a little bit, which makes me nervous. But if you're looking for a giant guy and, you know, at 21, you're like, I don't know if I want to go with Denzel Boston, just wait till the third round and draft Mekhi Fields, you know, Malachi Fields. Yeah. And there you go. 6'4", 220. You're like, who cares if you run fast? I drafted you in the third round, you know? Which again, it's my only concern with the situation. Concern.
No, I hear you. I think that it's totally fair. And I think this is compounded by the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are clearly like setting up their priorities to be, at least in the draft, to be positions like offensive line. And it does really make this difficult sort of scenario arise where it's like, where do they go in round 1? Because there's probably going to be a tackle or an offensive guard who they could take at 21 versus maybe just Denzel Boston. And 2 weeks ago, it was never a question where they would go. Now I'm like, they're probably better served to take that guard or to take that tackle and then come back in round 2 and find that wide receiver. So yeah, I
agree.
think we're similarly thinking here. I would say. We're aligned.
It's crazy how much it's changed. It is crazy how much it's changed. All right. That's the two things on our agenda today. It's time to get into a little Overreaction Tuesday, which I said, look at guys, I didn't do the video, but we're still gonna play the video. Nobody yell at me.
It's a fine line between, drinking wine and squashing grapes, as we say in this business, and sometimes it's very subtle.
Sometimes it is very subtle. Shout out to Mike T, dude. Hope he enjoyed his night the other night. I didn't. That's my guy. I got a 4. Couldn't help it. Got a 4-pack for you as we get things kicking here. Let's start off with the conversation we had to start this podcast. Quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Will Howard. They've hyped Will Howard to oblivion. If Will Howard does catch on fire physically during the season, it is because of Mike McCarthy's constant burning hype for the man. They have not mentioned Mason Rudolph one time. It's actually nuts. I've gone on, I've talked to people in that building off record, and Mason Rudolph's name doesn't naturally come up. It's crazy how little Mason Rudolph is being mentioned. It is crazy. So, number 1 for you, overreaction or not, my friend. The Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback depth chart in 2026 will be Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard, and a quarterback that is not on the roster.
That is not an overreaction at all. Come on. Listen, it's not just reading between the lines. There is no real plans for Mason Rudolph to be a part of this team. And if there were, we would hear a shred about it.
One line.
They don't.
They mentioned him once.
You mentioned them not knowing Carson Beck by name. They're like, that's the Miami Hurricanes quarterback. They're like, who's that? Who's number 2 on that team last year?
Who's the guy that
our team?
Who was our backup quarterback? Started a game against the Bears.
Yeah, Bears. It's not an overreaction. It seems as soon as they can find a suitable way to pivot, they're going to.
Yeah. I love that. 1 for 1. Let's keep it going here. Pittsburgh Steelers extensions. They're coming, okay? The Steelers they're hopeful to have more than 2 guys extended before the season. And I'd imagine Chris Boswell is one of them. Joey Porter Jr. is probably going to be one of them. But you have the question marks in there. I'm going to toss you a curveball here. Overreaction or not, my friend. The easiest extension to get done is not a name we've talked about much. And he doesn't play a position that we talk about much at all, unless we're talking about getting rid of Jonnu Smith. It's Darnell Washington. Overreaction or not? Darnell Washington's going to be the first extension signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason because it's going to be so easy to get done, and they've shown absolutely no interest in adding to the room.
Man, I love the way you're suggesting this. I love the argument, but it's a huge overreaction because there's no extension that will happen first besides Joey Porter Jr.
Boswell included?
Boswell included. I don't care. Wizard of Boz, he's going to wait just like he always has with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're not going to make the kicker the first big extension, and you should pay him. You know what I mean? Make Boswell the highest paid kicker in the NFL. He deserves it. I'm cool with that. Joey Porter Jr. first and nothing else in my mind.
Wow.
So overreaction. Sorry, Darnell.
Do you think Darnell gets one of the extensions?
My predictions would be if there's 2 that are guaranteed.
Yeah. Boz and Joey.
No, it's Joey and Nick Herbig.
No, I disagree on that one.
That's fine.
You're going to let Boz go? You're going to let Boz walk
No,
afterwards?
you'll get it done later. I'm not worried about getting a kicker locked
But they
up.
couldn't get it done last year.
Yeah.
And I've heard Boz was not happy about that.
If he walks, he walks. That would be my thinking. It's a kicker.
It is. But ask the Ravens. Kicker gets you to the playoffs.
Womp womp.
All righty. I like it. Let's stick with Boswell here, okay? If he does sign an extension, it's an easy deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This
slam dunk.
Not even remotely close. You take not Brandon Bass. Is it Brandon Bass?
Tyler Bass.
Tyler Bass's $6.5 million a year contract, and you just add 1 to it. So $6.6 million a year. By the end of the summer, Chris Boswell will be the highest paid kicker in the NFL.
Well, I'm either going to be a hypocrite in 12 seconds or I have to stick to my gun. So I'm going to say that's an overreaction, Noah, because I don't believe Chris Boswell is going to get an extension
At all.
So I just said they're going to wait. I just said,
Yeah, but you said they were going to wait until after Nick Herbig. I didn't realize that meant just forever. They're just going to wait. They're sign Nick Herbig and move on with their lives.
okay, let me see. I can get this back here. I can reel it in here. There's going to be multiple extensions.
Multiple. They're hoping 2, 3 plus.
So the third one could, I guess, be Boswell and not Darnell Washington. Listen, if Joey Porter Jr., Nick Herbig, Darnell Washington, Keanu Benton, Chris Boswell.
You think Keanu Benton gets signed before Chris Boswell?
That's how I would prioritize them.
But you think that's going to happen?
Yes, because it's an overreaction. And I have to stick to my guns here.
I respect it. I do. Could you imagine signing the positionless defensive tackle before your Hall of Fame kicker and saying, you know what, pal, you know, you won us more games single-handedly in the last 2 years than most of our team. Have fun in free agency. We're calling Ben Stalls back.
But okay, let me just instead of me just being a stubborn guy here, let me pitch this. If they could not get a deal done last year, what is there to indicate that they are really committed to giving in to Chris Boswell in some way? Which is obviously he wants to be the highest paid kicker and is deserving of that. What is the holdup? Why wouldn't they want to do that last year?
Can I be honest with it?
Of course. I mean, I hope you don't lie.
This guy who turned, what do they call it? Turned villain? No, what do they say in wrestling? Heel turned. And decided that he was getting his money no matter how much respect he lost. Cam freaking Hayward. And they had to spend the whole damn summer negotiating with Cam Hayward. After spending the whole front of the summer negotiating with his guy, TJ Watt. And trading George Pickens. They had a lot of stuff going on. All right. They had a lot of Aaron Rodgers didn't start until June 6th. It was a lot of things.
I tell you what, that might be you being honest, but I do not buy that one freaking bit in terms of why they couldn't. $1.5 million would be the raise he's getting. $1 million, you know what I mean? $1.6 million is the raise. Chris Boswell is.
You had to give Cam 2.5 in incentives.
Oh yeah, but the different there was like
you had to not guarantee Cam $2.5 million just in case.
Yeah, so they actually didn't give it.
They still very much had it there.
So they told Chris, "We'll get it done after this negotiation." They didn't actually spend any money in that negotiation. And then punted the other negotiation.
But he's going to be the highest paid kicker. Okay. That's what I'm getting at.
Okey-dokey.
Let's round out the 4-pack here with I got one for you. Your son's middle name. Roman.
Yeah, Cordell Roman. Yeah.
Cordell Roman Wilson Punturi. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we haven't even put the last one up for bid yet. So there's possibilities that changes.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Punturi.
No way, dude. You get to sign the birth certificate. You put whatever you want on there. He's right now wide receiver 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. And last year we just heard constantly about how Roman Wilson's going to be the guy. He wasn't close. He's not going to be close this year. Overreaction or not, before OTA starts, Roman Wilson gets replaced again, not just once, but twice with people on the roster.
Wow, the twice is really just it's throwing me for such a loop here. It's not an overreaction. I don't... Man, like my gut tells me Roman Wilson will be wide receiver 4 this year.
That's where's Benny Sco go?
I mean, realistically, he's not a real part of the offense besides what do we get? The Sco plow? The scow plow? Is that what to call it? Got the scow plow. And I don't think he's going to be a real piece of the offense, but Roman Wilson might. I think it's just as realistic to expect, though, that they draft a wide receiver and they also sign another veteran wide receiver before training camp or OTAs or whatever you specified there. And Roman Wilson just gets bumped down and down. And again, I was right there with you. You know what I mean? They were like, Roman, he's put in that work. Last year was a throwaway
Fooled
year.
me.
We believe in Roman Wilson. And they were even like, hey guys, look how much we believe in Roman Wilson up at Latrobe. And then as soon as game action started, they were like, who's number 10?
Yeah.
Number 2 and number
Roman
10.
with the run out there like, whoa, pal. Where do you think
Whoa.
you're going, buddy? Back of the list. I'll toss
Ronan, get out there.
I'll toss another one, a little extra out for you today.
Okay.
I think, overreaction or not, Max Hurlman, who we spoke about yesterday, has a higher chance of being on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster by the end of the summer than Roman Wilson. Because you could trade Roman Wilson. You could get something for Roman. Jalen Waddle just went for the whole house today. Whole house, dude. They took the doors, the windows. Donna Kelsey doesn't even know what to do right now. Yeah. They took her whole house.
Whole windows are gone. Man, Noah, the thing that like actually makes this legitimate is they don't have a kicker punt returner. And Roman's not going to do it.
They said last year it was the first name out of Mike Tomlin's mouth.
Correct.
Who's going to be your kick returner? Roman Wilson's got an opportunity. He returned 0 kicks last year.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Johnson returned more kicks than
he didn't even return kicks in college.
He didn't even know how to do it.
They were just like,
he didn't even know how to do it.
I had no idea. I think it's an overreaction, but I don't feel confident in my answer at all.
I don't think so. I like it. All right, y'all. With that said, that's everything on our agenda. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of it, we'll start answering your questions. Toss them in the chat. We'll be right back.
Pittsburgh, this one's for you. From the voices behind all Steelers talk comes Black and Gold apparel, your go-to for bold, fan-driven merch that reps the city, the Steelers, and everything in between. Whether you bleed black and gold or just love that Pittsburgh grit, we've got something for you. It's more than a podcast. It's a community. And thanks to your support, we're proud to bring the passion from our mics to your closets. Gear up, stand out, and show the world what real fans look like. Shop now at blackandgoldapparel.myshopify.com.
All righty. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our super chatters. Can't thank you guys enough. If you want to become a member, you could do so by clicking the link in the description below. Dropped a Steelers Intel video yesterday. You never know when the next one's coming. Never know when the next one's coming at all. Let's start with good old Chris Schuleberg.
Chris is back.
I'm going to crash out so bad if we draft Beck. Well, good thing. Let's start off here. Good thing. The Rams are not going to. So don't have to worry about that one. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers probably are. Can I toss you my 1 to 10 odds here and you tell me how far off I am from yours? I'm saying Carson Beck ending up in Pittsburgh is about a 7 out of 10 right now. 70% chance. I just think that's the quarterback they're going to draft. They got no interest in the other ones.
I hope
Drew Aller shows up. That one will sway me. But my thing on Drew Aller is I think he's going to go second round. I think by the time this is all said and done, somebody views Drew Aller as Tyler Shuck.
What are we doing?
It's living and dying.
What are we doing in this world? You know what I mean? Like, we gotta wake up. This is crazy. This is craziness right now. That's crazy. I think I'm on board with my favorite defensive coordinator in football, Chris Scholla. I think I'd also crash out real hard.
What are you crashing out harder on? Carson Beck in any of the third, or Drew Aller with the second pick in the second round?
Drew Aller at like this. So the Steelers
76, 53, whatever it is.
You're gonna tune in to all Steelers talk because you're gonna see a bad version of Jacob. I don't even care if my wife is just
live from the delivery room. Jacob Panturi's throwing stuff, screaming. Nobody even knows why. He can't get the words out. He just keeps yelling, "Drew,
it's supposed to be the greatest day of your life." Oh, Drew! It's not his name.
His son's name is now Drew. It's just who knows, dude. Who knows? Shout out. Max, I've been drafting Aller on several mock sites at 121, and Beck is gone at that point. I prefer Aller. I easily prefer Aller. Again, my thing is I don't think Aller is going to make it that far. I don't think Aller gets past the second round when this is all said and done. Maybe the third round, maybe early third round, but Drew Aller is Spencer Rattler. He's Tyler Shuck. He's the guy that's been in college that at some point everybody thought was going to be a superstar. who didn't turn out to be a superstar, and now they want to take a shot on him. And I'm not saying it's the Steelers. I'm saying
no. I know. I
Yeah.
think there is this sense of, especially because, as we touched on earlier, this like lack of talent and superstars at the quarterback position. There is this sense of panic that is going to continue to rise across the NFL. Maybe it's not the Steelers who are the ones who succumb, but an NFL team is, and I sigh because you're right. An NFL team is going to panic and take Drew Aller in the first 64 picks. And while I compliment the upside and recognize that this guy can throw the ball 400,000 yards,
he could.
You know, you could to misquote Coach Boone from Remember the Titans. You can throw the ball a mile, but you can't pitch it 4 yards. Like, you know, you got to figure out the small things right now.
There.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think it will be a big reach in round 2. So
for sure,
man, I'm really high on this class of quarterbacks.
Nobody is, dude. Nobody is.
How could you be?
There's not a single NFL team this year outside of the Raiders who are sitting there going, good class. And the Raiders are looking at it going, oh, at least we don't have to deal with the rest of it. You know, I mean, we got the only guy that was still going first round no matter what. Cool with us. Duff, Noah, I was sad with your thoughts. We could trade our first with a 3 to move up for a guard. I'd rather do that for any other top 4 wide receivers. We need good young wide receiver talent and depth for the future. There are good guards available rounds 2 through 5. I agree with that. I don't disagree with them being good depth or having good opportunities in rounds 2. I don't think through 5, but 2, maybe 3. Mm-hmm. My thing is if you could go find another Troy Fautanu, what's stopping you? If you could go get another Zach Frazier, what's stopping you? Mm-hmm. This is a one position where, like, every year, and don't get me wrong, every year there are good offensive linemen that come into this league. Right. I hear that.
Right.
But like you could find a Devontae Smith in the second round of this draft. And you want to know what Devontae Smith is? Just good enough. You know what I mean? He is great as your wide receiver 1B right now. When AJ Brown leaves 1A, like fine. And you can find that in the second round. You're finding Troy Fautanu at 12. You know what I mean? Like you're finding Zach Frazier you got lucky.
They're
lucky with Zach Frazier. I think that the opportunity is there.
Well, I guess this brings up a good question. Like, do you trust the Steelers' ability to evaluate offensive line talent so much so that you're willing to let them wait until rounds 2 or 3? We've seen guys like Frazier, Mason McCormick come in rounds 2 and 3. Or do you think it is so much more of a talent disparity? Let's talk, I guess, just this upcoming class to keep it specific. Is there such a disparity between good tackles or first round linemen versus the rest in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think there always is, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I think most drafts you don't find. It's like a quarterback, essentially. Like, you draft a tackle in the first round, you expect them to be great. You draft a tackle in the second round, and you're like, this is a good piece that we could develop into a great tackle. You know what I mean? And I just feel like if it's there, why not? Like, it's offensive linemen outside of center and quarterback are like 2 of the only positions that happens, where it's like, if you're drafting a first round guy, they're coming into the NFL expecting to be elite off the jump.
Yeah.
And every other position, if you draft him in the second round, you're like, that's still a starter, dude. That's a good starter right there. You don't get the same kind of pushback with other positions here. You know, it's a lot easier to find a Kendrick Green in the third round than it is, Troy Fautanu in the first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I think that's what you also touch on too. And I'm sure maybe I'm not though. This is not a unique idea from Jacob, but like, I agree with like tackles, right? Like yes, you might get a Broderick Jones, but you might get a Troy Fautanu in round 1. Contrarily, I think it is much more realistic to get guys like Mason McCormick in a round 3, like a Zach Frazier in a round 2. You can do that again. There's guys like Emmanuel, I think it's Pregnon from Oregon, who's probably going to go in the second round, could step in and be a starting left guard. I think Rutledge, the Georgia Tech tackle, probably go in round 3, but could be a starter in the NFL. I think there's guys that, it depends on the position.
Yes, yeah. I agree. I very much so agree. That being said, if the Steelers walked into the NFL draft and said, I'm going to go get Carnell Tate, I got a hard time arguing against it.
How can
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, bad move. What are you doing? Vega was right there. No. Rival, you guys are the Pittsburgh version of PTI. I love it. I will say, so I am like, you know me, not a TV guy. Netflix got me. I said last night was because my brain works a little different because I'm on this side of like things, you know what I mean? So I'm constantly thinking about marketing and all that stuff because like that's part of like what we do. And it's wild that last night I sat down and I turned on not PTI, but Pardon My Take on Netflix. And the Barstool guy with one with Big Cat. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I haven't turned on Netflix in 2 years by myself.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Got me, dude. They got genius by them. Good for them, dude. Good for them. Rival, appreciate this one.
Dude, PTI.
Goats.
Like Noah watching like Rich Eisen growing up. Like I was watching PTI all the time.
PTI and Around the Horn.
Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. Come on, man. Those
Michael
guys
Wilbon was my guy.
Dude.
My guy, because I was not a Kornheiser, pissed me off.
Oh, he's such a little.
Yeah, he always
boy,
got me. He always had the hot takes, and I was like, I know what you're doing, pal. Know what you're doing. Wilborn come in there and be like, get him. Go get him, Mikey.
I feel like I got a little admiration for Kornheiser.
Oh, I love him, dude. I love them both. Don't get me wrong. Absolute
his
legend.
style.
Yeah, absolute
admiration
legend.
for.
He is what Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright would have loved to be. They took it to such an extreme. He would say something that you're like, that's wrong, dude, but you just made it sound so sophisticated. I love you. I loved him, dude. Shout out to Rival.
Shout out.
As good of a compliment as you could get. Yinzer Jake, overreaction. We trade up for Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, or Carnell Tate.
Overreaction.
I don't think they're going to be there. I think Tate will be there, but I don't think the Steelers are going to trade up for a wide receiver. But I think Sonny Styles gone by 10. Caleb Downs gone by 10. Remember a couple of years ago when Devin Witherspoon was like, yeah, you could go anywhere from like 6 to like 15, and he went 4th. Like, it's going to be Caleb Downs.
Yeah, I don't think there's any secrets left regarding Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and just sort of how special they are relative to the rest of their class. The biggest reason why I say this is an overreaction is because I cannot be convinced that they're going to trade up in round 1 at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Would love to know, and I apologize for this one because I'm not keeping up with it. Somebody saying Bishop was suspended in the chat. Would love to know if that's Beanie. Yeah, would love to know. Let me know. If they were going to trade up for any of these, it would be Caleb Downs for sure. Bernard, A-Rod had no wide receivers last year outside of DK. Very much so agree.
Can you see that?
No.
3-game suspension from Pelissero.
Yikes. Big yikes on that one. As for this, no wide receivers outside of DK last year. Very much so agree. And I think, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is like the great quarterback he once was. I think if you fix the offensive line and you put him back there, he's better than 12 quarterbacks in the NFL, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely better than like at least 2.
At least, you don't think 10? Let's see if I can name 10 quarterbacks better.
Can you name 10 quarterbacks that are better than Aaron Rodgers?
I'm actually excited to do that. Let's see. No, not better. Worse than Aaron Rodgers is better than.
Aaron Rodgers is better than, yes.
Okay. Let's go through. Can you pull up a list of quarterbacks here? And I would love to do it. I think I could come up with 10. I do. Just off the bat here. And you can argue with me for sure.
I'll let you.
But starting quarterbacks better than Geno Smith.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to be better than Jacoby Brissett.
Arizona's.
Yep.
I'll give you that.
Okay. We're at 3 here. Better than JJ McCarthy. Boom. Wow, this is way tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Now I kind of want to make sure you can't see my list.
I kind of want to know the quarterbacks though. All right, so better than JJ McCarthy. Let's go through the things. Not Josh Allen. Better than Tua.
I guess he is kind of a starter.
We'll go 2025 starters.
Yeah. All right. So
Because okay, if that's the case, he's better than Quinn Ewers too. But you know what I mean.
True, yeah.
Miami's quarterback. We'll just say Miami's gray-faced quarterback. All right, we're at 4 there. Keep going. He's not. CJ Stroud is walking the line, but he's not there. I'll give CJ the bump on that one. I think we're good in Cam Ward. I think he's currently better than Cam Ward.
Yeah, I think you have to say that.
We're at 5 right now. Shadur Sanders smokes Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, he should smoke some.
He just smokes Shadur Sanders. I think that's it in the AFC. NFC, Minnesota, not better than Jackson Dart, not better than Jaden Daniels, not better than Jared Goff, not better than Dak, Jalen, not better than Jordan Love. Who else am I missing here? Not better than Caleb Williams.
Sam Darnold.
Not better than Sam Darnold. Not better than Brock. Not better than Stafford. Not better than... I don't think I'm going to get there. He's not better than Purdy.
So there's one.
No, he's not better. Purdy's better. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get there because he's not better than Baker. He's not better than Bryce. 6. He's the 26th best quarterback in the. That's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
That's the reality. That's. I mean, look. And this is why I've been so annoyed, and I think so many people are so frustrated with this whole situation. Is you're waiting for this guy. You're waiting for the Beanie Bishop of cornerbacks right now. Of you know what I mean? Like at QB, you're just waiting for a guy who's near the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, because your other 2 options are the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
And they're going to cut one.
Outside of Geno, dude. Geno's terrible. Sorry. Geno's terrible. Bernard.
Yeah, it's not good.
Dan Graziano said the Steelers need to sign Cousins over waiting on A-Rod. LOL. Stop. If A-Rod's not coming, just roll with Will. Agree with this. Look, I'm not advocating to sit around waiting for Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not advocating for the Steelers to go sign Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins. At that point, let it rock with Will, draft Drew Aller, whatever.
Yeah, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, genuinely, it just doesn't matter who's quarterback because you're playing this crazy game of musical chairs at the QB position until 2027. So whatever.
Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah.
Let chaos reign.
Let chaos reign, dude. Who cares? Kyler's gone. He's already winning. You're fine.
Yeah, MVP's gone.
You're fine. Cody Silva knows kid's name is Broderick Spillane. Dude, Broderick's my guy. All right, let's not. Broderick's never tried to kill me. Robert has. Robert Spillane has certainly tried to end my life once or twice. I still think about it sometimes.
We'll see who gets me this year.
Yeah. Jacob's got some contestants for sure. You might just be lining up. Yeah. I don't think I'd have a name. You know, Mason, dude. Mason Rudolph, man. I feel bad for some of the things.
I don't think Mason would have any. Have I been overly mean to him?
No,
Mason?
definitely not. And Mason likes us. I talk to Mason quite often during the season.
You know, I genuinely actually I don't really care whatever impression they take is fine. I was gonna say something nice, I hope they know a lot of this is in good spirits, but honestly, I don't. Whatever they take away from it, if they consume it in any capacity, is fine with me. I don't really give a shit. Do you care what other people think about you in general
in that NFL locker room?
Just at any moment.
Oh no, never.
Just for professionally, I understand.
I'm wearing yellow Crocs right now.
Yeah, that's what, listen, I'd never want to embarrass the All Steelers. I'd never want to make us look bad in any sort of way, right? That's not. But any other situation in life, I just could not.
Yeah, if it's not work related,
I care
whatever.
About.
Who cares? You know what I mean? Work, you got to keep a. You know what I mean? But that's different. That's different. Time and place for everything. You know what I mean? You walk into church, you're not looking. You can't be acting childish. Your grandma smack you.
Oh, dude,
that's what I'm saying. KGK, Beanie Bishop suspended for the first 3 games. That stinks, man. Man, that stinks. Where did he play last? Where did he play last season?
Did he finish on the practice squad?
Not on Pittsburgh. He didn't make the practice. He got cut from the practice squad pretty quickly. Oh, never mind. He's on the Saints currently.
Right.
So, got it. Shout out
that's
to
where he
Beanie
finished
Bishop,
last year as well.
Yeah, that stinks, dude. Beanie Bishop. What could have been? What could have been.
Remember how mad?
Yeah, people loved
were?
Beanie. People loved him. And I understood it. His first year, he looked awful. His second year.
Oh,
awful. And people on that team admitted it. Like coaches on that team were like, yeah, dude, Beanie don't look good.
Yeah, he looked bad after like 7 games his rookie year. Like,
I mean,
he had a couple interceptions. Yeah.
But he came in that next summer and he was not a guy that.
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah, everyone was like, Beanie?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was so difficult to like explain to people, like, guys, I would love to root for Beanie, but he ain't it right now. He ain't it. Rats, with this offseason, we should move up and win multiple picks and get some stars. I think the Steelers move up twice in the NFL draft, once in the second round, and then I think once in the fourth. I think they have, when it's all said and done, they have 1 first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths.
Wow.
And then like their late round picks.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think we're going to see. That's like where I truly think if there's going to be more than 2 trades, it's because they're going to just like shuffle things around in rounds 5, 6, 7. You're just moving all at that point. You don't care because you have picks like 190 and 230 and 237. And, they moved back for the Pittman trade and all that stuff. So it's like they might be, shuffling the deck there. But again, round 2 between picks 32 or 33 and 43, like your Steelers are going to be the team to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Schuleberg, I have an idea. Send all of your draft capital to the Rams for Devontae Adams. That would be a scary wide receiver room. Also, did you guys see Beanie B got suspended? Nobody cares about Beanie Bishop,
dude,
man.
The Steelers Nation loves Beanie Bishop. So Beanie, if you see this, apparently a lot of people are just want to make sure you're good.
West Virginia boy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I always forget that is
Who crapped all over Pitt when he was there.
Did he?
Yeah, to the point of like Pitt players like were like talking smack to him as they were like walking past each other at practice. Yeah, and I was like, Beanie about to fist fight these guys, but he didn't care. Shout out to Beanie. I'm anti Devontae Adams, but I was pro Devontae Adams yesterday.
You were
not
in
all
right situation. I understand
in the right situation. Not all the draft capital. I give up a 7th round pick.
Correct.
That would be
right answer.
That's what it would be. Rats. With Pat Myers gone, I'm thinking our O-line steps up. Yeah, I think that. Look, I think that the Steelers' offensive line last year, if you remove a couple of games, they look pretty good. Broderick doesn't look good, and you now you're taking a guess on Spencer Anderson. But Zach Frazier, I thought, looked great for most of last season. Troy Fautanu looked ridiculous last season for I would say 95% of last year. Troy looked great. And I thought Mason McCormick looked good too. Like, I don't think Mason McCormick's a superstar, but I don't think Mason McCormick's not a starter. Like, I think he is a guy that you are continuing to build, who you already see the foundational pieces there to be a long-term starter at guard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, if you can be critical and see the needs for improvement, maybe in a player like Mason McCormick. At the same time, do you know how many NFL teams are just like chomping at the bit to have a young right side of their offensive line like the Pittsburgh Steelers currently possess? It's a good situation.
Yes.
I stand by. They were a very good unit in 2025. They still just have room for improvement this upcoming season.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. The Simp 88. Next year's quarterback class is so good. Reaching this year is crazy. Build the roster, wide receiver, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, grab free agents, young QB to fill the room. Agree with this. Agree with this 100%. And I think the Steelers agree with it too. Like, I think that they're again going to draft a whatever shot in the dark piece.
Yeah, that's the sense that's growing. Huh?
Yeah, it's just like it's like last year. Last year we went into the draft. And the rule of thumb was just to draft somebody so that a year from now you have competition when you draft a quarterback. Well, it got pushed back. Draft a guy so that a year from now you got Will Howard, Carson Beck / Drew Aller / Garrett Nussmeier, and whoever your third guy is, and you battle them out. And clearly you know who the favorite is, but you still, you don't hand anything to anybody, and you have 3 options. I just think that's
fight to the death.
Fight to the death. You know what I mean? And I just think that's
Rochambeau.
That's what they're looking for. I agree with this one. Isaiah, We saw how JSN fell because of his hamstring injury to 21. How far do you think Tyson falls in this year's draft? And do we pick him if he's available? I think there is a chance he falls. And yes, you pick him.
If you let Jordan, thanks for the opportunity to talk about Jordan Tyson and why he's going to be the most productive wide receiver of this group.
Shout out to, I agree with that.
Like, and you talk in our earlier discussion during this episode, a player that immediately came to mind talking about like what do they want this drafted player's role to be. Jordan Tyson can do everything. Yes, Carnell Tate can. Yes, Mekhi Lemon ideally can as well, but Jordan Tyson does everything so well.
Yeah.
If you overlook him just because of this hamstring injury, shame on you, and you're gonna, whatever becomes afterwards, because this guy's gonna be real good. I would love to see him fall to 21 for the Steelers.
Me too. Blessed light. If we pick a quarterback with our last 5 picks, one's bound to hit, right? Exactly. Probably not, but whatever.
Correct.
Again, you're just shooting in the dark, hoping you hit something. You know what I mean?
Playing darts.
Yeah, dude. You're playing darts in the blind and hoping that you don't hit your brother. It's,
been there, done that.
that's the goal at the end of the day. And I think I honestly, I'm okay with that plan. I don't think it's like the greatest plan in the world. You shouldn't have got yourself here in the first place, but you did. Whatever. While you're waiting it out, sure. You want to use a 5th round pick on a quarterback? Be my guest. Yeah, I mean, have a good time. Who else you drafting? Tight end that's never gonna play? Cool.
Who am I to ruin the fun?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Professional couch coaches, would y'all be open to Mason McCormick moving to left guard? I like drafting an offensive lineman eventually. If it's not flashy, drafting a wide receiver would equate to drafting a slot wide receiver for this year. What about inside linebacker in the 2nd or the 3rd? I like inside linebacker in the 2nd or the 3rd. I think that Patrick Queen, if he's not going to get an extension and you don't know what the future is, and look, I was told that the Patrick Queen talk was a lot of nonsense, a lot of overhyped whatever. You could take that, you could believe that or not, because I don't know if I fully do, but I would like an inside linebacker early. I'm not saying it's a must, but I think it would be a benefit. As for Mason, like, I don't really think I care about moving him to the left side. I think I like the foundation on the right and then build your left side of the line.
Yeah, I mean, if you need stability along the left side and you just can't find it, like, sure, fine, whatever. But other than that, I think he's pretty entrenched in the right guard position. I think that's kind of where he should stay. I'm okay, not okay with. I'm great with an inside linebacker in round 2 or 3 if it is Jake Golday out of Cincinnati, or if it is who's our other favorite guy, Jacob Rodriguez.
Yes.
Captain Mustachio out of Texas Tech.
Captain Mustachio. I
thought something was on my face, but it's just the light hitting me.
The light, dude. It's the sun coming in for the first time.
Like the Joker paint on my face.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
I don't know how I got these scars.
Bradley, sleeper receivers outside of the big 3. I mentioned him earlier, but I think Elijah Surratt's going to be a steal in this draft.
I love him.
I love him too. I think he is such a slept on guy because Omar Cooper is like ranked ahead of him and they're from the same school. Do not care. Germain,
Bernard.
Alabama. Thank you. Out of Alabama. I think he has potential to be maybe the 3rd best wide receiver in this draft.
That's a great pick. We talked about guys like Ted Hurst before out of Georgia State. There's a guy who can kind of do it all. I've thrown out names like Eric McAllister out of TCU. Not only is he, I hope he's named after Home Alone, but
for sure.
If not, I just made that the case if you hear it anywhere else.
Agreed.
So yeah, there's lots of talent. Malachi Fields, a name you mentioned earlier out of Notre Dame. That's a guy who I think you can absolutely, just be pumped about if you get any of those guys. Lots of wide receiver talent throughout this entire draft.
Yes, 100%. Duff, to Jacob's point, but in reverse, we haven't hit on a mid-round wide receivers in forever. Feels like we need to go get the legit stud wide receiver and not hope and pray we can develop another dud Roman-esque guy. Agreed with this one. Agreed. And I think that at 21 still makes a lot of sense. I don't think I'd be trading up for him. I'm like not a trade up for a wide receiver guy, but some people are. I think that at 21, you have a comfortability. And truthfully, I'm very okay. Option 1 for me in the Steelers draft is wide receiver at 21. Still.
Yeah, not again unless a stud left guard is there, a stud left tackle that you are very high on and you feel like you cannot pass on is available at 21. You're taking that top wide receiver on your board. Do I think it maybe again like a player like Casey Concepcion at Texas A&M might be like a sneaky name to monitor all of a sudden at 21 for the Steelers? Yes, but I love the sentiment here from Duff because they need a stud. I agree. Don't put all your eggs in that basket though, because I think the Steelers think they effectively did that in some regard by landing Michael Pittman Jr. in a trade.
Yeah. I agree. Poke. What y'all know about wide receiver Jeff Caldwell? Very fast.
Just visited
yesterday. Very fast out of Cincy.
He's a Bearcat.
I like him as like a mid-round option, early mid-round option. To me, he adds a lot of speed. He's got decent size, which I actually like as well.
He's like ginormous.
He's like at least 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
The wrong guy.
He might be bigger than that, honestly. He didn't look that big in person yesterday, but I think he brings decent speed, return capability.
Yeah. He is big.
How tall?
6'5".
6'5".
Did you see
He was
the other guy?
Down. Nah, he was wearing a Bearcats thing, but he was sitting. We were Bearcats. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan though. I like him as a mid-round option, especially with the speed, especially at that size. I'd be very open to that.
How do you not like a guy who's got that much size and speed?
That's what I'm saying.
Come on now.
That's what I'm saying.
My father was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Rival, what do you think our record will be this season, assuming we draft? Who do you guys think we draft? I think the Steelers draft wide receiver. I'm not totally sold on who though.
Today I'm going to say Concepcion at Texas A&M wide receiver.
Oh, I like that one.
Throw everybody off. They get that wide receiver 3 that they can play. That's versatile, smaller speed guy. Record predictions, same as I said yesterday. So I apologize for repeating myself, but 9-8.
9-8 is my record prediction. My pick right now is Jordan Tyson. I think Jordan Tyson's going to fall. Brian Thomas fell 21-20.
Good receivers fall all the time.
They do. I like it. All right. Let's keep it trucking here. Duff, trade Roman to his dad with LA and get a 13th. Yeah, get the 13th pick. I mean, look at what's your odds? I think Roman does get traded by the end of the summer. I think that's a real strong possibility.
I just don't understand who would trade for him.
People trade for everybody, my friend.
Everybody. I did, and I said this to you in text. I was like, I don't understand what the value of a draft pick is anymore. I was like, I don't get it.
No, it doesn't exist.
You give up 48 picks for Jalen Waddle. I'm like, I don't understand. You can draft him with the 30th pick.
Everybody,
you can get Jalen Waddle for 4 or 5 years with the 30th pick.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. I think he would get traded.
Blinded by the light.
We gotta put the thing down. No more natural light in this bad boy. It's coming right at you.
Being attacked. Pick and pack.
All right, we'll go a little rapid fire here as we work our way through these. Pittsburgh Primo. I've been hearing the Steelers are interested in trading for AJ Brown. Has anyone else heard this? No. Maybe it could come as a surprise, but no.
Did you see there's some update? I don't know who pointed it out or where the original report came from. So my apologies for not giving proper credit. But
all good.
I guess whatever the contractual language is, like they're not going to move AJ Brown till
June after June.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Which you could still trade for him.
The
you
deal
just can't
get
show
worked
up
out,
till,
right?
Yeah. It's a post June. It's like when Russ got cut post June 1st. But he showed up in Pittsburgh beforehand. Like the NFL rules don't really.
It doesn't
exist.
matter. It's all fake.
It's all fake, dude.
It's all a fugazi.
It's all fake. But no, I do not think he's ended up in Pittsburgh. Yins or Jake, what's the status of Rudolph and Thompson? Everyone keeps talking like they won't be on the team this year. That's because they won't be. I'm stunned. Skylar Thompson is still here. I'm stunned. Skylar Thompson's still around.
Where else is he going to go?
But that's what I don't think Pittsburgh. Like I don't think Pittsburgh.
No, I mean, like,
you're
like,
gonna
for
have
right
five
now.
quarterbacks.
No,
you're gonna
he's not
draft
coming
them. You're gonna cut him the day after the draft and really screw his luck.
No, he's not coming back. But I mean, like, I thought you meant like he's still like hanging out in the building right now.
He is.
That's
He's still
like,
signed.
Where's he gonna go right now?
Cut him. Let him go sign somewhere
I
else.
know.
That's what you have to do. It's just a respect thing in my eyes. Like you're gonna cut this guy May 1st and be like, you're gonna find a team. I'm sure of it. No, you're not. Like you're not gonna find a team. He's gonna spend the whole season in free agency. You just ruined that man's career. Shout out to the Steelers.
Probably. I think that's
when you
what's
do that to
happening.
Mason, at least it's justified. You know what I
And at
mean?
least there's
He's
money
going to
that
spend the
get.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're going to trade him for a conditional 7th year after. I already look at guys. When this happens, somebody clip it. Maddie, if Carnell Tate magically falls to 12, do they trade up? I would consider it. The Steelers, I don't think would. I don't think the Steelers have any interest in trading up for a wide receiver.
Yeah, and it compromises my role that they're clearly going to follow of trading up in round 1, which they just won't do.
There you go.
So that's tough too.
Professional couch coaches, if the left guard you want falls or the wide receiver you want falls, to which one do you draft? These are realistic falls, not like Tate falls to 21. If it's like Mekhi Lemon versus, I don't know, give me a realistic like
The Penn State guard, is that realistic, or is that a little bit too?
in the recent mock draft? I don't think it is, but in the recent Daniel Jeremiah's draft yesterday, that's who they take is Penn State's guard 21.
Wow.
If
So
it's
him or one of
yeah, give me an option here.
him or one of the Utah tackles, either Lamu or Fano. Both are expected to go round 1 at some point.
Yeah.
Any of those 3, I own included, or Jordan Tyson.
That's a good question.
That's a great one, right?
That's a good question. Ooh, all 3 are still available. No, just that one of the 3.
Yeah, let's say
if there's more than one, you're going Tyson and you're trying to trade back in. But if you
gotcha.
if it's just 1v1, if it's 1v1, I'm going Tyson. You need a wide receiver. Don't ignore it. You know, if it's Denzel Boston versus one of them, I feel different. If it's Mekhi Lemon versus one of them, I feel different. Jordan Tyson's and Carnell Tate, I'm like, how do you pass those guys up?
I agree. Jordan Tyson's, I
Yeah,
can't wait to see him be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
for sure. For sure.
Just speaking that into existence.
For sure. Macaroni salad. What the hell? Mac Sal Paterni, which is actually the best one we've ever had.
That is way better than what we've been currently calling him, Cordero.
Cordero.
So I get it. Yeah, thank you.
Mac Sal might actually, that would, if you pitched this one 9 months ago, that might have happened.
That would have worked, actually. Yeah.
That would have been
missed it.
Would have been on the docket for sure. For sure. Yins or Jake, I saw Miami at 11 as a potential trade up target. Do you guys think that them trading Waddle means they won't trade back and they're definitely getting one of the top 3 wide receivers at 11? Yeah, I think that there's a really strong chance that one of those guys ends up at 11.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a great. I
hope they draft Mekhi Lemon just to prove to Denver how stupid of a trade that was.
Man, that would be crazy. In my mind's, Miami upgrades significantly.
Yep.
Like that's so okay. Wow. Can't wait.
You think Miami with the first round pick.
If they get Mekhi Lemon at 11
and a first round pick?
Yeah,
I agree. Because I think if it was Mekhi versus Jalen, even money.
Yeah, right. You just don't know. Mekhi Lemon might just not develop. You know, Jalen Waddle's a proven guy, but yeah, you get to come back again at number 30 and take someone else. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
A win. Yeah,
beautiful. Renegade Minka, Noah, your thoughts on Waddle trade in the AFC? Denver absolutely overpaid. My dad's a longtime Bronco fan.
Mm-hmm.
I called him. He didn't answer. I think it's because he knew I was going to roast him.
Big Strack didn't answer.
Big Strack. No, Big Don didn't answer the phone.
I get it.
It absolutely. I mean, it's awful trade. A great trade by Miami. Shout out. Awful trade by Denver. What do you get? Why? Why? I don't understand. Like, to me, last year I argued I'd give up a first round pick, a singular first round pick, a first and a third,
first, third, and a fourth to get Waddle in a fourth.
Yeah.
So
which is a first and a third. No.
Yeah, you did. You reduced the fractions. Yeah. I like it. I
went
like
to school
it.
once. You know what I mean?
Dude,
didn't know I was doing that, but it came.
I stay right into the eclipse.
Yeah, absolutely awful trade by Denver's part. Pittsburgh Hornets. When do you think Beck will go into the draft, and will he bring 2 turntables and a microphone? Dude, we were told at the combine that Carson Beck's like super introverted. Remember we were talking to the Georgia guys?
Yes. Yes.
And they were like, yeah, dude, he's like naturally doesn't want to talk to people. I'm like, does he know? Has he seen us anything? Is he's like the man drives around? He had 2 Lamborghinis stolen, 2 of them. Two.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being like, I had both of my Lamborghinis stolen. What?
You hear some stuff and you're like,
but I don't like talking to people.
I don't like talking to people.
Yeah, but, but I'm going to pull up in the car that everybody's going to want to talk about. What are we? How did we get here?
I think Kroger's will take them in probably round 1
for sure.
2.
For sure. For sure.
Giant Eagle's going to be coming in hard.
Giant Eagle. Shout out. Yeah, dude, where you park, you can't drive a Lamborghini in Pittsburgh.
No.
Yikes. Yeah, no. Good thing they were stolen.
Get that chip chop ham.
Pittsburgh Primo. Off topic, but what does a tire company know about good food to where they give out stars at restaurants? I have no idea. What I do know is that when I was in Dublin, I saw my first Michelin star restaurant and realized that it was a tire, and just thought it was absolutely nuts that in the most beautiful hotel I've ever seen in my entire life, there was just a little plaque that was supposed to be the symbol of all of their excellence. And it had the freaking marshmallow guy on it. And I was just like, what are we how did you get here? Shout out to them, man. Yeah. That's a guy, they say like millionaires have 7 sources of income. The tire guy was like, I need another one. What if we rated restaurants? And it worked. Shout out to him, dude.
I wish they had given it like, instead of like Michelin stars, they rated it in like marshmallow puffs.
That would be so sick.
Like, this place got 4 puffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys been there?
Yeah.
It's got 4 puffs.
It's a puff star restaurant, dude. Michelin puff restaurant. I love it, dude. Pittsburgh Hornets. How many teams in the North will take a quarterback next year? 3.
Everyone but Cincinnati?
Maybe 4.
Because Joe Burrow's getting traded to LA or something.
Wow, dude. I would love that. He would love that. Let's
replace Stafford.
Let's be honest, dude. Joe Burrow's living his best life these days. You know what I mean? Every time you see a picture of that guy, he's with like 15 of the most famous women of all time. And you're just like, you live in Cincinnati, dude.
Skyline chili everywhere.
Yeah, what a waste of a life, dude. What a waste. You'd be in the movies. You'd be Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Just, yeah, dude. Yeah, terrible. Fire salsa. Can we offer the Dolphins something for their number 1 pick next year that should get us to the top quarterback pick? It could.
They
are going to be pretty bad. $175 million in dead cap. Terrible.
It's just like ridiculous.
They're a bad team. You could. I don't think that the Steelers would be interested in it. I think the Steelers are going to game plan next year, see what it comes out to be, and then say, screw it. Let's see. They went all in this year in their comp picks. They're not doing it next year because they went all in for this year. Didn't work out. They're just going to have to play old school draft football and say, if we want to go up, we're going to have to give up next year's picks. And I think it's worth it for a quarterback,
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
That's what they say. Maddie, where would you have to move up to get Tate and Lemon? Would they move? I don't think they would move. I don't think they have any interest in moving for a wide receiver. I think you'd have to move up to 15 to make sure that you guarantee at least one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say at the earliest or the latest.
Yeah.
I think would be the right way to say that.
I don't think you're getting both at 15 either. I think you get one or
maybe.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Speed round as we close this thing out here. Dirty Sco, aka Todd. Oh, got me. Noah and Jacob, 3-part question. Favorite offseason move, least favorite offseason move, and the one move you still want them to make before the draft. Fantastic questions here. Favorite offseason move to this point. Overall, Sebastian Joseph Day. Fantastic addition to that defensive line.
I love that. Mine's Brisker.
Love that. I love that. Least favorite move. Not signing Rasheed Walker.
Okay. I like the way you interpret it. Yes.
Yeah, because I like all
yeah.
those.
I was gonna say, what am I gonna say? Like re-signing
Yeah.
Casesio to Maywu? Like that's great
Yeah.
depth. Like I love that this guy's got another contract with
Forgot he was
Dolores.
here.
Least favorite move. I'll say letting Kenny G walk, but not because I'm mad about Rico Dowdle arriving, just because I loved Kenny G.
I love it, dude. And then one move you still want them to make.
Interior offensive line. Left guard.
Yeah, I like that one.
Or
left tackle.
Yeah, go sign a veteran lineman.
Yeah. Hartsky, any talk / chance Taylor Green could get brought in and play somewhere other than quarterback? No, he's going to play quarterback. As for the Steelers' interest in him, I don't think they have much. I don't think they're going to really look at him. I would be kind of surprised if they did.
Yes, I would agree. I don't think they view him as anything other than a project quarterback.
Yeah.
And most of the NFL probably agrees.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And then we're going to finish it off here with Purple Yeti Pack. What does them drafting a quarterback in the first 3 rounds say about all the Will Howard gaslighting from the front office? I don't think it means anything. Again, I look at it and say the Steelers could use a 3rd round pick on a quarterback and say it's just another competition piece. You know, if all of this hype about Will Howard is real, then they should view a 3rd rounder versus Will Howard as just like a 1A, 1B. We're going to see who works out type situation. But I don't think it hurts Will Howard's chances. Again, when I talk about Will Howard, I talk about him in a way of like, I don't think Will Howard has this big, beautiful path to a starting quarterback that the Steelers are trying to paint. And I think that a 3rd round pick, if it's Carson Beck, does nothing but just mean that a year from now, Carson Beck, Will Howard, and whoever are going to compete for the starting job.
Yeah, I think it's totally fair. I like my thing is if they take a quarterback in the first 3 rounds, I'd like everyone to throw 7s in the chat because you can
just all the time
because you
constant 7s
should actually start really listening to the things I say because I said there's too much of this right now. It tells me something's going on. And if they take a quarterback in the first 3 rounds, I think it clearly indicates that maybe some of the stuff they said was just that, words not followed by actions. But I think it's also totally fair to say you bring in a 3rd round quarterback, the expectations are come in and compete.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to see what happens. All right, y'all. With that said, we're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. And as always, find all our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. If you want to become a member and get exclusive videos, join the Discord, call into the call-in show, all the good stuff. You know, you could do so by clicking the link below. And with that said, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg.